I'm Insomniac.
And I'm Pops.
And this is Shooting the Shit.
a.k.a. Chatting with Pops.
This is episode 54 of Shooting the Shit, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, second episode into the second year.
That's right. And we got a lot of great feedback on the new intro. Thank you all for that. I know a lot of people are getting tired of the old one, although we'll see how long it takes you to get tired of this one. We're not making another one until episode 104.
Just about everybody liked this one better that I talked to, yeah.
Yeah, so that went well. Today's... Man, I'm still sore from that workout. Holy crap. Okay, today's topic is from James Honey again.
Hey, James.
Hit the thumbs up if you want us to use somebody's topic who's not James Honey.
Well, this is a pretty good topic. It's good.
No, James Honey suggests fantastic topics, which is why we keep picking them. Not to say some of you out there haven't also suggested some great topics, but these seem to jump out at us a bit. Look back 25 to 35 years ago and how much technology has changed and advanced. What are your predictions 30 years from now on advancements in technology or medical advancements or whatever else you guys want to add to that? What does it look like 30 years from now?
Well, 30 years ago, things were way different, right? I mean, 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, I mean, for instance, my mom passed away with bile duct cancer of the liver. And I say it was about 32, 33 years ago. And, that didn't go so well. We'll launch forward 30-something years forward. To me, it appears that people have a lot better chance than even that 30 years back with cancer that I see going on. Launch 30 years into the future, I would hope and pray. See, I say it like that because I don't have any faith in humanity. And I'm saying that for the most part. I don't have a lot of faith in humanity.
You're a nihilist?
Well, you see, why I say that is because you take Big Pharma, for instance, and how this world runs, and you've heard me say this before, it upsets me. 30 years from now...
Yeah, but you can't bracket that as having no faith in humanity. That's having no faith in certain people in certain positions in pharmaceutical companies.
Well, okay, so I'm just...
Most decent
I'm generalizing
people would hand
I'm
down
generalizing
the cure
it
to
because
cancer.
aren't they fucking humanity? The men and the women
No.
and they're not.
They're not representatives of humanity as a whole.
Oh, okay, in this area I'm saying, okay? So I'm generalizing, right, all right.
By the way, if you hear a lot of background noise, we're having a hell of a thunderstorm.
Yeah, lots of storm all day. But, 30 years into the future, I would want to hope and pray that, there would be almost just about a cure for cancers and things. I mean, you're real cure-like things or real life longevity for sure, like lots of years, I would hope and pray. You would think so, that it would be like, wow. Because it's funny you asked this question going back 30 years. I mean, if what my mom had went through now, I don't know, maybe she would have, instead of being gone in 6 months, or I initially told her a year or something or whatever it was, maybe she would have been around for 4 or 5 years, or more. So going forward, I would, would hope that 30 years forward, man, there should be cures is what I'm trying to get out of my mouth, but I just don't, like the people in this field and big pharma and stuff, I gotta say I cannot stand, I want to use the word hate, it's a very strong word, I don't like that word, but it's bad. And also other advancements in the health field, you'd have all this heart stuff too, there should be there should be a lot of great advancements to keep you alive and well, and it should be like swallowing a pill, kind of like the Star Trek stuff when we joke around. It shouldn't be like it is now. But anyway, and then other things like, I think you brought up technology and stuff. As fast as things have moved from 30 years ago when I had a phone on the wall with a wire, and there was cell phones or in the car phones, that was all fancy stuff, and there might have been some, but it was like the military and when I think about how fast things advanced, and you made that clear to me, I went, yeah, I didn't think about that. I can't even think of what it'll be 30 years from now in the future with technology. It's going to be like incredible. We talked about the flying car thing. I still don't know if I believe cars will be flying around. Maybe. They should be. I would say they should be with as fast technology moving. I can't even fathom in my head. I couldn't even fantasize other than the car thing. Cars flying around, and it's just crazy. Because, I mean, I'm going to be 57 this month. And so I could go back 30 years, right? And when I think about the technology and the things we're talking about now, it's mind-boggling now. So moving 30 years in the future, it's almost like a dream or a fantasy to me to think what I could dream up or think up. So, I mean, that's my thoughts to a certain extent on that. I know he's probably got a lot more detailed thoughts.
Well, I don't remember what teacher it was. I guess I didn't care, but I always thought this was interesting, what the teacher said about technology, which is what I said yesterday when we were discussing it. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. In fact, it's fact, really. It's not an opinion. Technology grows exponentially. Because if you think about it, it's technology that aids in creating more technology. So the more technology we have, the faster technology we have, the more advanced technology we have, it helps you create more technology and at a faster rate than you are creating it in the first place, which means it's kind of scary to think what would happen in the next 30 years if we've gotten a lot of the things that we've gotten in the last 2 or 3 decades. That means, I don't know what the curve actually looks like. I'm not a electronic scientist or something, but the amount of advancements that we've seen in the last 30 years, we should probably see in about the next 5 comparatively.
Good point, right.
So
that's mind-boggling.
30 years from now, like we were discussing the car thing, and I was telling him that me and my friend Nate were actually having a conversation. We were standing on the floor of the New York Auto Show, because me and him always go, we're car heads. And we were looking around going, yeah, sadly enough, 10 years from now, we're probably going to be standing here looking around going, man, remember when cars had tires?
Well,
because, I mean, and it's not to say that maybe cars won't have tires, but if you think about the fact that, people used to fantasize about or make jokes about cars that drive themselves, and now Teslas already do. Not perfectly, as we've seen, and, they've had to make changes and regulations to that system and whatnot. But, we already have cars that can literally drive themselves. We have cars that park themselves by remote. BMW has quite a few of those. You can just get out and hit the button, it'll go park. I mean, These are things that already exist. And then if you look at the other side of things, there are personal drone-like vehicles coming out every other day now. Like personal flight vehicles.
Well, yeah.
They're like drones.
Yeah. Right.
But so, I mean, if you put together the fact that you have automated driving now, and you already have people that are flying themselves to work, although I'm sure heavy regulations are going to be coming for that soon, in little personal vehicles that they bought for $50,000, flying cars have to be around the corner. Now, where I guess I can kind of agree with you, although I don't think this was the question, I don't think technology is going to keep us from that whatsoever. I am not convinced that we're going to have flying cars, though, in general, because of that's got to be a whole separate... unless the flying cars are fully automated and there's no human error involved, that's got to be like a separate license.
Well, yeah,
it's got to be a separate set of rules. I can't imagine, the government allowing it.
I just want to toss in there, and you keep going, that 30 years back, or when I was a kid, like you and Nate had that conversation, I would look in books, and they'd show flying cars, and they would literally use like the year 2000, and now here we are in 2018. So I was saying that then, but then he had a point with the acceleration of, the technology and stuff and how fast it's moving. That's a good point. And I wasn't even aware they had littler drones that fly someone. I know the military has weird stuff.
No, you can buy them.
Wow.
And, even if you look at, it's a tiny bit further than 30 years ago, but I think it was 1985, the airbags started being put in cars.
Right.
The airbag
I guess it was 85.
It was a huge thing, the airbag, right? Now think about safety in cars. First of all, there's airbags in everything, including the seats, the pillars, the whole nine.
True.
You have every kind of electronic stability and, driving assist, computerized systems on all of these cars to make sure you don't screw up. Even if you're a shitty driver, the car makes up for it, basically. And then you thought, well, you could run into things. Well, now you have lane departure systems that don't let you wander, and
it's crazy.
More and more cars stop themselves. In fact, I don't remember what.
And think about how bad the drivers are on the road with what you're saying.
But I don't remember what year it's supposed to be by, but I'm pretty sure that cars are supposed to have that auto stop thing in them, all of them, by a certain year. So if you think about the fact that about 30 years ago the airbag was huge news, and now cars basically keep you out of accidents. That's how safe they've become.
Yeah, so insurance
it's incredible.
Should become a thing of the past or real cheap, right? Oh no. But here we go again. Let's stick man in here.
Well, we live near Newark, so it's never gonna
forget. Just let's stick man in here everywhere. Because that's the hang up with what he's bringing up. It's the sky's the limit, it's cures, it's everything that you're probably bringing up this question for, and I get it. But it's man, again, I'm back to humanity, in the fucking way. So, I don't know, you know, I mean, great question.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the way, there's some corruption in the way of certain things, but technology's not making itself.
Oh, let me throw this in here in the middle of this. If my shirt has some stuff on it, I fix my hair, there was water all over it. It's not stains. All right, never mind. Go ahead.
Man is advancing the technology.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it itself.
But then men can't get along, can't agree, all right? And oh, fuck you. I think so many things are held up at the cost of men. Evil, I use that word, because take cancer, take the things we're hitting on. It's a great question. Too many people have died behind the fact that that's being held up by money, by evil, by people who don't care. They think they don't believe in God. They don't believe, you know.
But the problem is you're not discussing the whole topic. You're zoomed in just on pharmaceutical companies.
I got back to that.
And cures.
Well,
there's a lot more to technology and
but even the other side of the technology we're talking about. You think that they're not going to fight and argue about that, and money's not going, and they're going to hold something up or not? You know, I think so.
Well, yeah. For example, the airbag. It was invented years before they ever put it in a car.
Well, there you go. But, I jumped on the other thing.
You know, I mean,
right.
What does that have to do with the topic necessarily?
Well, but I didn't even catch your point with the airbags till now. That's what I'm saying. Everything gets held up.
There's never going to be a dead stop on things moving along technologically.
It depends. Believe me, there has been dead stops on things because of men not agreeing, and money. Money can stop everything. Can halt the world as we know. Maybe you don't. I've seen it halt the world. No gas, no oil. You're freezing.
You're missing the giant
I'm
picture.
old.
We're not talking about one company, one invention, one advancement in health. We're talking about as a whole.
Yeah.
You don't think anything's going anywhere in 30 years because a couple guys are going to get in an argument?
Well, yeah, of course, but it's just this stuff upsets me. It fucking upsets me.
And then speaking of health advancements, I won't say who it is because we haven't discussed, talking about that on camera. But that has come a long way. I know somebody who had a surgery recently, somebody that I'm pretty close with, who a robot did the surgery. And it was a pretty large surgery.
Well, yeah.
And he's got almost no scars. The surgery took no time at all, and he had no pain when he woke up. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
You think about the fact that, robots could do surgery better than the doctors at this point. Certain surgeries, obviously. I mean, I actually can't wait to see what they could do in 30 years. Hopefully, if you have the right insurance and or money, because money will buy you the best.
This is my point.
With healthcare.
All right.
Money is going to obviously buy you the...
It's not in everything else, too. Money's not in the...
It depends.
All right.
And certain technologies, as they become not necessarily obsolete, but more standard, they just become standardized and thrown in everything, like in cars. You had to pay thousands and thousands of dollars extra for a car that had auto stop 3-4 years ago. Now Hyundai Elantras are going to have it. Actually, Hyundai Elantras, I think, already do have it.
New ones? I don't know, maybe.
I mean, we're talking about...
I know some of the Nissans do.
Some of the stuff... I mean, look at a lot of the shit that was... Look at cell phones. You could buy a cell phone at Walmart for $39. They were, what, $600-700 in the early 90s?
Yeah.
Well, and now if you get a smartphone, they still are $600-700. But you know what I mean? Like, now you could literally get burner phones for when you want to go commit crimes and whatnot. And, they're a few dollars. It's not a big deal anymore. So, I mean, as things get older, it becomes old news that this technology is just there. So, no, not all of it. I think health, unfortunately, and healthcare, that's the one, situation where they're going to keep screwing everybody. the people with the best money are going to live the longest and get the best health care.
Yeah. Oh.
Although to me, there's two options there, and I'm kind of veering off topic. But your options are either sit around and complain about it, or try to make your way up the ladder. No, screw doing something about it. We're not fighting a pharmaceutical company. You can either sit around and complain about it, or you can work your way up the ladder so you have the money so you can get the best health care.
Well,
which still sucks for everybody who can't afford it, but you know what? We can't sit around here and not afford it with everybody else. Let's try to make it to where we can afford it at some point.
Yeah, see, all right. See, now, a good friend of ours who we love, who was my therapist for 18 years, used to tell me, about, making a difference could be and unfortunately I haven't done this very much because I hate writing, but she would always say, writing that letter can make a difference to your congressman, to your councilman. You could try to make a point. I'm just saying, I'm not, this is kind of a wide extreme per se, but what we're talking about, but making a difference if for some reason you never get up that ladder, maybe the difference of writing letters, maybe the difference of connecting with someone that can get something done for someone who doesn't have something. And again, here we are again, I'm going, yeah. I hear a point, and it's a good one. But dare I still get stuck with, you do all that and bam. Because, I've actually made phone calls about things and got answers like, oh, yeah, you can't do nothing about that. Out of politicians. So there's such bureaucratic bullshit. However, I'm not saying it doesn't hurt to make the phone call to write that letter, because I was told that by a wise
what I'm
friend.
saying, and again, we're about 5 minutes off topic, is I don't disagree with that.
We're not 5 minutes off topic.
At least.
No, we're not.
We're not even on the topic anymore.
All right.
This isn't the topic. But what I want to throw in with that is, morally, that's definitely the better option. But that's the much longer option with a much slower, if ever, result, as opposed to just making the damn money because the world sucks, sadly, and things are the way they are. Wow. And ensuring that once you, God forbid, ever need them surgeries, you can get them.
Well, you're still young, so keep plugging away.
You're young enough too. You could, if you need a surgery when you're 75 years old, by then it won't be a huge deal.
I don't know, man. This is a good topic because we're having a real conversation here, a little more than usual. This is the chat. See, today it's the type of chat with pops that I meant when I threw out, let's do chat with pops. Now, a lot of cats out here, a lot of you folks don't like this. You want to see us go AWOL and handballs, but this is what the way we're talking today, talking about a topic, very serious, thinking about it, pondering it. This is what I wanted chatting with pops to be like. Real serious conversations, getting down to, the nitty gritty and really talking about it.
Let's totally get back on the tracks.
All right,
what kind of things do you think we're going to see in
the future?
2040. No, that's 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Well, yeah,
2040, 2050.
Yeah, I think you're right about the flying cars, but
well, if you talk to my mom, we will definitely not be here.
Well, I think there
we
will.
all believe that God's coming back. Well, we as in my family, we believe,
you're a Christian.
Right, that God's coming back. But, I believe it, nobody actually knows, but I'm hoping that it's a while from now. My mom thinks it's like, tomorrow.
And, again, that's your choice, your belief. That's our belief.
But assuming that we'll be here in 30 years, what do you think we got?
I believe there will be flying cars. Now, you hit on something really big, important before just throwing it in. Unless they're totally automated, because that's what I used to see in the books when I was a kid. Just cars flying all over. So I would think it has to be automated if that was happening. I think that could happen. But at the very least, it'd be heavy regulation, cars that fly, ways of getting things we're talking about, I believe. And I do.
The way it would happen first is the flying transport thing, like local flying transport would be a public transport. This way, it's not only regulated, but it's, you have trained operators, certain routes, etc. I think it might be more than 30 years before you can get in your own car and fly it somewhere, but who knows?
And then, back to the health thing. In 30 years, I believe the advancement should be that there be just miracles and cures. And do I have hope in that? God help us. So that's what I got to say. This was a good topic, and I really like being able to
I thought it was my
around.
turn for what might happen in 30 years.
Go ahead.
One thing I think will be gone is the cell phone. Because if you look at how it's progressing already, it's already so far past the cell phone. It's a personal computer, and a lot of companies have already made prototypes that are either totally clear or totally flat, or bendable
Or how about in
moldable.
our body?
Well, unfortunately, that's something that might happen at some point too, and that's also being tested. But at the very least, the phones will be gone, and they'll be replaced with either some type of optic version.
In our body.
Well, no, well that's an add-on, kind of like a contact lens.
Right.
Or something that would just go around your wrist, not like an Apple Watch, literally kind of like a flat, clear screen. They're testing all kinds of crazy shit. So I mean, the long story short is,
See how old I'm getting.
Cell
He's bringing
phones-
this stuff up.
cell phones like
Wow.
this, they won't exist in 30 years. That's for sure.
I agree there.
I think automotive advancements are going to be insane. I mean, the Hyperloop that Elon Musk keeps wanting to test, that will bring you from, I think it was Los Angeles to San Francisco in 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
These are the types of things that are already, being prototyped.
we're talking about this stuff. This is broader than we hit on today, because like, what about houses? They already have houses that are so, as far as how they're heated and computerized, that are like, it's ridiculous. You could sit down and just go open your mouth, and so we didn't even hit on houses, and we just hit on these two things here, I guess, more or less. But we could really go on with this. This could be awfully long. The advancements are, it's true, far-reaching beyond what we're talking about. It's amazing.
Now,
so who knows what living spaces will be like houses? Oh my God. Rosemary.
Hey, I'm doing shooting the shit.
Rosemary. Oh.
All right, I'll call you back. Bye. Now, here's one of the big problems, though, with technology and its advancements. We're already, I mean, anybody who's committed a major crime like murder or something like that already knows that it's basically impossible to go anywhere without them tracking all of your movements in 24 hours. Wait till you see what happens 30 years from now. I mean, I think everybody is going to be under full surveillance all the time. Worse than like 1984 style.
See, again, we can go on all night with this.
Technology is also going to work against us in terms of already everybody knows that you're being listened to full time on your cell phones and things like that. This shit has already come out, but it's not only not going to be much of a secret anymore, but it's going to be happening all the time, everywhere. I mean, there's going to be like a full audio and video account of your every movement. I think,
I would agree. So again, this is so far-reaching, we're hitting on stuff.
Basically, we can't go on anymore with this episode because, for sanity's sake.
Yeah.
But technology's going to be something.
All right. Well, this was a good time. Again,
It was.
Yeah, I this is the chatting I was talking about, but this is probably boring to most people without craziness and madness and tons of cursing and jerky stuff. But this is the chatting I was talking
Feel
about.
free to leave more topics. We
Yes.
have some good topics now, but you can always leave more. You have to leave them on Patreon, so if you're not a member, you can't leave topics. And if you're not a member, you just saw this episode 1 week late, so maybe you can get on the cool kid train with everybody else and sign up at that link at the top of the video description. And
Become a patron.
it would be a big help for us.
$1.
Yeah, freaking $1.
Come on, guys.
And, see you at the next episode.
We're out of here.